Two weights, squishy ball.
Hillary, admit.
You made it. Weights and squishy balls. Hi. Got some weights. I'm grabbing small-ish weights, like 2 pounds are good. 2 pounds. There you go. And then you get a squishy ball. Go. All right. You got some Vancouver time? Okay, guys. All right, so let's start on our backs, guys. You don't need any props, just have your weights handy, have your squishy ball handy as well. Perfect. And then just lie on down. So just have everything kind of within arm's reach. This is on Zoom, by the way. We're on right now. If you are wondering why that's there, or why I'm talking about it, it's on Zoom. All right, squishy ball just by your side, weights by your side, have one on each side so we can grab them in a sec. And then just lie right on down. So you're neutral on your mat, your feet are just about hip distance apart. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. We want to think about our neutral position through our spine, so our tailbone is a little bit heavy and tipped away from us. The back of our rib cage is a little bit heavy behind us, but we have that small space behind our low back. And then from here, we're just going to start with some knee drops. So we're going to keep our pelvis totally still. We're going to keep our whole body totally still, except for our right leg. We're going to open it out slightly, and then just pull it right back in. And then do the same thing left. So your left leg opens out, your right knee is pointing straight up to the ceiling. And then bring that left leg back in. Now left leg stays pointing straight up as your right opens and in. Same thing left. And then right back up. Now really start to think what happens as your right leg opens. Does your left hip lift? Or do you open your left out further to counterbalance? You try not to do either of those things. So start to think about how your stability in your pelvis is coming from your core. So think about those abs deepening slightly as your right leg opens, no movement in your body other than that leg. And then same thing to the left, abs deepen slightly, and then come right back. Go one more each way. Right opens out, in, and then left opens out, right back up, and stay. Now from there, bring your hands behind your head, tuck your chin slightly, and then curl up to flexion. So you're looking down towards those hips. So pelvis, neutral, little space still behind your low back. Let's do that same thing. So right leg is going to open out, and you got a perfect view. Are your hips shifting? Is your leg opening? Your opposite leg, and then back in, do the same thing left. So you're going to open out slow and control, and then slow and control, come back in. Now let's add a little bit more upper body. So your right leg can open out, lower your upper body slightly. Right leg in, upper body up slightly. So just nice and small, doesn't matter how wide you open your leg. Remember, the challenge is to keep your pelvis still, right? When you come back, you're working, your ribs are staying tighter around your center. When you come up, you're still working. And again, inhale back, exhale, right up. One more each way. Inhale, slow and controlled, and up. One more left. Inhale, slow and controlled, and up. And then just lower your upper body all the way down and take a breath. Okay, now from here, keep that pelvis neutral, keep the back of your ribs heavy. You're gonna bring your heels up off the mat, so you're just on your toes. So when you shift your weight to your toes, can you feel how your core has to work a little bit more? Your belly button needs to pull into your spine so you don't just arch your back, right? You want to keep the back of those ribs nice and heavy. And then from there, let's bring our right leg up to tabletop. So hold that right leg up there. You're going to reach your right leg away. So really think length through your right waistline, and then just pull that leg back in. So your right leg will reach away from the top of your head, toes reach, and then your right leg will come right back in. Nothing else changes in your body. Your leg moves away, your waistlines are both staying nice and even. Two more like this, reach. And in, keep that left hip nice and heavy. Don't let your weight shift to the right. One more like this. Come back in and stay. Now from here, grab your weight in your right hand. Reach that arm right up to the ceiling. Right shoulder blade stays heavy. Now let's reach right fingertips away from those right toes. Hold when you're out there. Take a nice breath. Fingertips really reach away from those toes. And then all the way back in. Do that again. So as you reach those abs deepen, feel that length through your right waistline. And then all the way back in. Think about your right shoulder blade a little bit. Is it staying flat against the mat? Remember, your rib cage is nice and heavy. Go for 3, reach. And in. Go for 2, reach. And in. And then go one more, let's reach out. All the way back in. Lower your right toes down. Lower those heels, lower that arm all the way down and take a breath. Right. So now we'll do the same on the other side. Just keeping in mind, if you feel your back, you can bring your heels down so your foot is heavier on the mat. That's totally fine. Keep the back of those ribs heavy. Keep that upper body nice and quiet as you lift your heels. Then just hop your left leg to tabletop, keeping your right hip heavy. So from there, reach your left knee out and then pull back in. So like here, if you're feeling your back or you're feeling it hard to stay balanced from right to left through your pelvis, lower your right heel. That will give you some more stability. Still lots of work. Reach. And then back in with control. Good. Toes reach away from the top of your head. And in. Keep that right hip heavy for 2. Finding that length, and then keep that length through your left side body. One more like that, reach away, come in and then stay. Now left arm up to the ceiling with that weight. Now left toes from left fingertips, reach, and then pull all the way in. Again, reach away, fingertips reach from toes, and then all the way back in. So 5 more. Feel that work the whole way out as you straighten and the whole way back in. And again, working the whole way as you reach, keep working back in. Last 2. In, and then one more, let's reach away. Come right back in. Holding there, lower your left toes down, lower your heels, lower that weight. All right, and then from there, grab your squishy ball. It's gonna go underneath your right foot. Pelvis still neutral, ribs still nice and evenly weighted. Our hips are gonna wanna shift, our ribs are gonna wanna shift. We're gonna really focus on keeping our waistlines long and our body pretty symmetrical from right to left other than our legs. So start by just pressing through your left heel. Don't lift anything, but just press your left heel down into the mat a little bit. And you feel how your left glute engages. That is what we want. We want our left glute to be working. Imagine you have a ball between your inner thighs. You're kind of squeezing your inner thighs towards that ball as you press a little harder through your left heel and lift your hips. So hold when you're out there. So we don't want to jam all our weight into our right foot. It doesn't need to be super, super light, but have it as light as you can keep your pelvis even from right to left. So if you press down too far, your right hip might drop. We want to keep our hips level. Extra bit of pressure through your left heel to keep this left glute and hamstring active. And then from there, grab your weights if you want. You don't have to. Arms can come up. They can also stay down. So from here, we're just going to drop our hips down. Hips and ribs come down together. Think about that ball between your inner thighs. Keep those inner thighs squeezing around it as you lift up towards the ceiling. So there's not really a ball there, but just that imaginary ball. Inhale down, inner thighs squeeze towards your midline or around that imaginary ball as you lift. Now add arms if you want. So you can open your arms wide as your hips drop and then press up. And then arms overhead next time you drop. And then press back up. Inhale as you lower. Exhale, press through that left heel up. Inhale as you lower, not quite touching the mat, and then press right back up. Go one more each way. Inhale, opening wide, and press. And one more here. Inhale down. Exhale, press up. And stay. So now arms are reaching up, still have that pressure through your left heel, right? From there, reach your right leg away. Hips stay nice and lifted, and then pull back in. Let's add those arms. Arms are going to go overhead as you reach your leg away, and then pull back in. And then arms are going to go wide. Arms out, reach, and back in. Keep those ribs tight around your center. Inhale as you reach fingertips from toes, and back. Inhale, and keep those hips nice and lifted. You've got one more each position here. Reach and up. Left inner thigh still squeezing towards that midline all the way in with those arms. Roll all the way back to the mat. Come down and take a breath. Good. Just hold that ball between your ankles. Keep your arms reaching up. You're going to press into your heels, belly button to spine, roll all the way up. So both feet pressing down now. Just stay right there. Take a breath. Arms reach overhead as you roll all the way back down. Slow and control down to neutral. Arms back up. Go two more like that. Belly button towards your spine. Press through your heels. Holding at the top. Keep that pressure through your heels. Fingertips reach from those kneecaps as you roll down. Reaching, reaching, reaching all the way. You're in neutral. Arms up. So belly button to spine, press. Really think about that even weight through both sides of your spine, even weight in your feet. Change that in 1 sec. All the way. Arms back up, and then just lower them down by your sides. Now grab that ball with your left foot. It's going to be on top of the ball. Right heel, you're going to press it into the mat. So just feeling that connection with your right glute there. Keep those hips nice and level as you press and lift up. So holding at the top, easy to drop your left hip right. Keep them nice and level. Reach those arms up to the ceiling. So to start, just drop your hips together. Inhale as you come down. Exhale as you press. Inhaling down, slow and controlled. Exhale as you press. Now open those arms. Inhale down. And press. Left foot stays that little bit light. Inhale down. Arms overhead. You'll keep alternating just like we did on the other side. So arms out and press. Arms overhead and press. Think about that ball squeezing towards your midline that little bit, or those inner thighs squeezing towards your midline. Reach. And up, stay at the top. So arms are reaching up, keep pressure through that right heel. Now send your left knee away. So you're going to reach out, keep those hips lifting,
and then pull back in. You can add the arms if you want, so arms reach as your toes reach and in, and then arms reach wide as your leg reaches and back in. So the challenge is keeping those hips really level. It's hard enough to just keep that right hip up, but keep your left one up as well. Don't let it drop, especially as you extend that leg. It wants to lower. One more, let's go wide. Press back up, holding, roll all the way down. To neutral, bring your hands down by your sides, pop that ball back between your ankles. We're gonna roll up again. So belly button towards your spine, press through your heels, lift those hips nice and high. Nice big breath there. Lift your heels up this time, and then roll all the way down on your toes. Back to neutral. Take a breath, lower your heels. All the way back up, press through those heels as you roll, lifting your hips. Knees reaching away from the top of your head, heels lift. Keep those knees reaching away from the top of your head, come all the way down. Neutral, lower those heels. And one more like that, belly button to spine. But those inner thighs still kind of squeezing towards your midline, lift at the top, lift those heels, and then slowly articulate all the way down. And through to neutral. Good job, guys. Okay, grab that ball, hold it in your hands, extend your legs out in front of you. Reach your arms right up to the ceiling. So feet can be about hip distance apart. Doesn't matter how far apart they are. Just don't go too wide. We're going to start with our arms just reaching overhead. So fingertips reach away from your toes there. Feel that your ribs are still tight around your center, right? Ribs are not lifting with your arms. Just bring your arms up. Go for a couple like that. So your arms move overhead, but nothing changes in your ribs. And then press back up. Let's do one more. You're going to reach your arms overhead. Now, as your arms come back to the ceiling, you're going to tuck your chin, move your ribs down to your hips. You're going to come all the way to a full roll up. So coming right on up. You grab onto your legs for a little help with you, holding when you're up there. Take a nice big breath, and then start rolling back. So roll your pelvis back first. Your ribs come back. Your shoulders come back. Arms are going to reach up, nice and slow and controlled all the way. Beautiful. Reach those arms overhead. And then do that again. As you come up, arms, start the movement, tuck your chin, feel free to grab onto your legs to help as you stack up. Nice and tall. And then let's go back one more just like that. So rolling, keep those shoulders back, reach those arms up. All right, so now let's add on. If you want, you can keep both legs down or follow me, tuck your chin. As your shoulder blades lift your right leg up. So now you'll come into just a half roll back. So you're staying in that little scoop. Bring your arms up and then bring them down. Bring them up again. Nothing else changes in your body. And down, go two more. And down, one more. Keep that weight even on those hips. Back down, slow and control, rolling all the way. Extend that right leg down as your mid back touches, arms overhead. Let's do the same thing. Left, tucking your chin. Left leg up, holding when you're there. Take a nice big breath. Even weight on your hips, you're staying in that little scoop, arms up. And you know, go for 4, arms up, nothing changes in your body. Ribs stay tight around your center. 3. And down, last 2. And down, last one. Let's go up and then start rolling. Reach that left knee away as your mid back touches. Arms overhead. We're going to do one more each side. Tuck your chin. Right leg up. You're coming into that little half roll. Stay there. Now from here, we'll ball just to your right hand. Open it wide to this side. You can rotate back. And then come back from center. Touch your left hand. Do that again. Even weight on those hips for 2. And that's totally fine to do this with both legs down. One more. And it doesn't matter the slightest how far you twist. Slowly roll all the way down. Reach those arms. Nice big breath. Do the same on the left. So tuck that chin. Lefty comes up, right leg is still reaching. So totally fine to do this here as well. Or here. We're gonna go from here. We're gonna rotate to the left, open that arm out, slow, come back through center. Opening out, reaching, nice little rotation, and back through center for 3. And it doesn't matter how far you twist, whatever feels good. 2. And in last one. Come back through center, rolling all the way down. Even way to go inside of your spine, reach that left knee out. All the way, and then just hang there, have a nice little stretch out. Before we come onto our sides. So let's all come onto our left side. And just plop your ball off to the side. We're gonna have our heels underneath our bottoms. So your right leg is on top of your left. For everybody. All right, and then you're lying on your left arm there. Left ribs stay that little bit lifted off the mat. And then from there, just lift your top leg up. So get to your highest point there. Your heels stay together. Your left ribs are still lifting. Your entire rib cage is kind of hugging tight around your center. And then just slow lower back to a hover, just a hover. And then you'll go back up. So squeeze right up, hold, and then slow and controlled come back down. So use your breath, exhale each time you squeeze and lift, and then inhale down with control. Exhale, squeeze and lift, and then inhale down with control. You've got it. So go 4 more just like that, right up. Pause, slow and controlled. 3. Slow and controlled. Good, 2 more. Down, and then go 1 more lift on up, and then stay. So let's try and keep our hips as still as we can. We're gonna bring our knee down, our right knee down, foot up, right foot up. So that's medial rotation, and then laterally rotate as you turn back out. So medial rotation, knee down, and then lateral rotation, knee out, up. Down, and up. Your core is working the whole time, keeping you nice and steady. Out, go 4 more, keep those ribs tight around your center. This is a right glute exercise primarily, but you should still be feeling your core working to keep you steady. Okay, good, guys, very good. Last 2. And out, and then 1 more. Out, and then just lower that leg all the way down. Good, so take a breath there. Let's keep our left leg where it is. You're gonna straighten your right leg out. So really reach your toes away from the top of your head, find length, feel that your left ribs are a little bit lifted off the mat, and then just circle your leg around. So thinking about your thigh bone circling in your hip socket, you're getting the full range of it. You're up, you're forward, you're down, you're back. As you're circling, kind of adjust your range or how big your circle is by how stable you can stay with your hips. So you want to stay as steady as you can. That means just making small, tiny circles. That is way better than making huge ones, but wiggling all around. So again, right glute, right thigh, lots of core working as well, keeping you steady. Let's circle back the other way. Same exact idea. Right glute, right outer thigh, tons of core keeping you steady. That's your transverse low abs, right obliques, all working together for 3, for 2, for 1 more, and then stay when you're out there. So really reach toes from the top of your head. And you're gonna bend your right leg into a 90-degree angle. Hold when you're in there, 90 degrees, and then press out, reach through your heel, kick behind you a little bit, squeeze back, and then do that again. So bend in, knee up to the level of your hip, and then kick out, reach through that heel. You've got it. So slow and controlled in, slow and controlled press, reach. You got it. Slow and controlled in, slow and controlled press, reach. 2 more like that. In, exhale, press slightly behind you, get that little bit of hamstring. Last one, in, exhale, press, reach through your heel,
Kick all the way back there and then stay. Now from here, lift your leg 1 inch. Keep reaching through your heel as you lift and then lower. So again, thinking about how your core is working here in addition to that glute and thigh. Up for 5 and down. Exhale up for 4 and down. Are your waistlines still nice and long? Left ribs are still lifting, right? Last 2. Last 1, squeeze up and then bend that leg right in. Lower it down. Give your right foot a little bit of a stretch out. So right foot in front of your left knee and then hug behind your left knee. So try to stay neutral even as you're stretching. Your tail is still tipping away from you. So that little space behind your lumbar spine. Deep breaths. Right. And then let's roll on them. We're going to come right over to the other side. So we'll start with those little clamshells, heels underneath your bottom. Got it. Lying flat. Your right ribs are that little bit lifted off the mat. Your waistlines are really nice and long. Get up to that high point of your clamshell. Hold when you're up there. Feel that outer glute and then slow and control as you come back down. So each time you're lifted, you're thinking about those ribs staying tight around your center. You're thinking about getting to that high point without letting your hips move. Remember, that's where your core comes into it. Your glute could probably pull you back further, but let's not let it. Exhale up, inhale, control. Exhale up, inhale, control. Good, go 4 more. Work as you lower your leg down, right? Don't just let gravity pull it down. Last 2. And down and then go 1 more. Let's lift up, stay. Now you're gonna do those little those little teeter-totters. Knee down, foot up, and then switch. Knee down, foot up, and switch. So again, it doesn't matter what your range is, right? You want to keep your pelvis as still as you can. So left glute, left outer thigh, abs, right? All working together. Left obliques, transverse abdominis working. Right obliques are working, keeping those ribs that little bit lifted as well, right? And down, last 2, in and out, and then 1 more, in and out, and then reach all the way out through those left toes. Hold when you're there. So really think about that length. Your right ribs are still lifting, left waistline is long, and then start circling that leg around. So as you're circling, you're keeping your pelvis nice and still, right? Don't make huge circles and compromise that stability. Go for 4. Nice, smooth little circles. 3. Last 2, where your right rib's still lifting that little bit. Last 1, and then go the other way. So again, just control your movement, reaching through your toes as you circle. Let's go 5 and 4, 3, last 2, last 1, and then stay. So really reaching through your toes. You're gonna bend back in, so you're 90 degrees. And then you're gonna flex, press all the way out and reach through that heel behind you. Waistlines are long, bending in, nice and controlled. And then press out, reach through that heel, feel that length. And again, in, press all the way. Good. In, keep those waistlines long. Don't let your left one crunch. Don't let your right ribs press down. 3, all the way, and press right out. Let's go for 2, all the way, and press right out. Last 1, in, press right out, and then stay when you're back there. From there, let's lift up 1 more inch, and down an inch, little inch up, little inch down. Keep reaching through your heel for 5. Keep reaching for 4. Keep reaching 3.
Last 2, last 1, and then bend all the way in. Good job, guys. All right, left foot in front of your right knee now. Give that left glute a little stretch. Keep that neutral, hug that right knee in as your lefty opens out. Nice. And then pop those feet back down. Grab your squishy ball, or squishy ball handy. Grab your squishy ball. Okay, so you're gonna go back between your inner thighs. All right, so hug those ribs tight around your center. Find that neutral again if you lost it. Feel like the back of your rib cage is heavy, tailbone is heavy. Start with just inner thigh, so feel that little bit of a squeeze around that ball, and then lift your heels up, so you're just on your toes. Okay, now from here, bring your right leg up, so just lift your leg off the mat, and then lift your lefty up as well. So with both legs lifting, it's very easy to come into an arched back position. We want to try and keep our pelvis neutral, so feel that your lumbar spine is heavy towards the mat without just jamming down. You're not arching too much, you're trying to relax as much as humanly possible through that upper body. Now from here, squeeze your inner thighs just gently around the ball. Hold that little bit of a squeeze, and then move your thighs 1 inch away from you, and then bring them back in, and release your inner thighs. So knees on top of your hips is your starting position. Squeeze those inner thighs in again, hold that little squeeze. Legs move away 1 inch, legs back in 1 inch, and then release those inner thighs out. So go for 4 more like that. Inner thighs squeeze, legs move away, back in, and control. Inner thighs squeeze, legs away, legs back in, and release. Keep the back of that rib cage heavy. Little squeeze, you're really hardly moving, but it should feel like a ton of work. In, release. Last one, squeeze, legs away, back in, release. Now grab that ball in your hands, reach your arms up to the ceiling, stay right there. So your legs are about hip distance apart. From here, reach your right leg away, take a breath, and then bring it back in. And then your left leg, you don't need to go low, it doesn't matter how far. Your leg extends, what feels good for you. If it just is like this, that's perfect. If you can go all the way, great too, doesn't matter. Lefty, and in. Now let's add these arms. So arms are gonna reach overhead as your right leg, just really feel length through your body, and then pull back in, and then left leg. Left toes reach from fingertips in the ball, and in. If this bothers anyone's back, each time we switch legs, bring a toe down or bring that whole foot down. Doesn't matter which stage you're at there. You don't want to be feeling your back. Let's do that again, reaching abs even. And in, one more right, reach away, all the way in. One more left, let's reach away, all the way back in. Lower your right foot down, lower your left, and then just pop that ball down to the side. Good job, guys. Hug those knees into your chest. Have a little roll around one way. And then let's climb on up. We're gonna come onto our left elbow. We're gonna do a little side plank here. So we can be on our knees, we can be on our feet. It doesn't matter at all. Don't need any props. So you could start, let's all start with just our heels under our bums. So we'll just come into a kneeling side plank, left elbow under our left shoulder. Really make sure you're not like here, elbow under your shoulder. And then think about your left ribs a little bit. Let's think of picking them up away from the mat so you're not just dropping them down. Both waistlines should stay the same length. And then your shoulder is the last bit. So your left shoulder is really gonna wanna creep up to your left ear. We need to keep it away. So pressing your elbow into the mat is gonna help with that. So let's start just picking those hips up. So just a few inches, doesn't need to be huge. Stay when you're there, take a little bit of a breath, and then just slow and control without letting your hips just drop. Control as they lower back down. So do that again, exhale. Feel the top of your head reaching from your knees, and then slow and controlled come back down. Keep going like that. If anyone wants to go straight legs, you're welcome to do that as well. That's another option. Slowly lowering back. That feels good. Up. Think about that neck staying long, slow and controlled back down. Go 2 more. And slow. 1 more. Get your legs out. You're going to look like that. Holding at the top there. For this one, we're going to reach our right arm up to the ceiling. Take a breath there. So keep pressure into your left elbow. Lower your arm to shoulder height, your right arm. And then lift that arm back up. Inhale down. And exhale as you lift. Go for 3. Go for 2. Keep those hips lifting. 1 more. Lift right up. And then lower those hips all the way. And come right on up to seated. So hang when you're there, take a breath. Just bring your left leg in front of your right. Left hand's gonna pop down to the mat. All right, we're gonna go for a little side bend. So reach your right arm overhead. Side bend across one way. You can bend your left elbow underneath you. And then reach those arms up to the ceiling. Bring your left arm overhead. Reach the other way. Keep that left hip pressing down as you stretch there. And then let's flip. Same thing, other side. So knees, feet, whatever feels good. Remember your right elbow should be directly under your right shoulder. That's super important. You're pressing into your right elbow the whole time. So you've got your right serratus and lats engaged the whole time. And then we'll start just lifting those hips that little bit. So you can lift an inch, you can lift 6 inches, whatever feels good. Feel the top of your head reaching from those knees, and then just slow and controlled lower back down. So when you're lifting, you're definitely pressing into your right elbow, but really think about picking your right waistline up off the mat. Really pick it up. Imagine someone's just kind of lifting. Be nice if someone was. And back down. Again, as you lift, feel that connection. Remember, if you want straight legs, have your bottom foot, your right leg in front of your left as you lift and as you come back. 3, last, lift, slow and controlled. It's as much work to lower as it is to lift almost, right? Feel that work both ways. 2. And then 1 more, lifting up. Remember, if you feel tension in your neck, just look down. Left arm is gonna reach all the way up to the ceiling. Now lower that arm so it's at shoulder height, and then lift back up. Inhale down, exhale up for 4. Keep those right ribs lifting off the mat. And 3. Last 2. Last 1. Right up, lower all the way. And then come to seated. So right leg bent in front of your left this time. Pop your right hand down. Let's go to the right first. You can bend your right elbow underneath you as you go up and over. Nice breath there. Feeling that stretch. Those left fingertips reach away from your left hip. And then reach back up to the ceiling. Stack up right arm up to the ceiling. Right fingertips reach away from your right hip. And then side bend across the other way. To bring your head down wherever it feels good. So, guys. All right, and then let's come to a 4-point kneel. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. All right, so we'll be like there. If anyone has wrists that really bug you, you can do these on your elbows. You just want to add the arms to that. That's a great option though. All right, so hands up really under your shoulders. Make sure you're not out here or in here.
press away from your hands that little bit to engage your lats. Keep that back nice and neutral, so no arching here, no lifting there. Keep that nice neutral, ribs stay tight around your center. And then from there, let's keep our right leg straight up behind us. You can probably feel your weight shifting left. Don't let it. Squeeze your left inner thigh towards your midline to kind of counteract that. And then reach your right toes away as you lift that leg. All right, so we can just do the leg. If you want, you can add your left arm, reach it in front. The left fingertips from right toes stay nice and stable as you tap down and lift. So it's not about height at all, it's about length. You're reaching fingertips from toes. You're thinking about staying as steady as you can. That's your core working as you lower and lift these legs for 5. Let's go for 4. Let's go for 3. Keep that neck nice and long. 2. Last one. Let's lift up. Stay when you're at the top. Now open your arm 1 inch to the side. Open your leg 1 inch to the side, and then come back in. So opening away from your midline, out 2 inches, and in. As you open, think about staying nice and steady. Feel how those obliques have to work a little harder as you move away from your midline. 3 more, out with a pause, and in. 2, watch that right elbow, don't let it start to lock. Last one. Back in, hand in, leg in. Sit yourself back to a shell stretch, just reaching those arms forward. Tail is nice and heavy behind you. Take a nice breath there. Let's just flip right over to the other side. So you'll come back up, hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Again, find that neutral, even pressure in those hands, and then start with your left leg. So you'll kick it straight up without letting your weight shift right. Right inner thigh still squeezes towards your midline as your left leg lifts. Watch your left elbow, don't let it lock as you reach your right fingertips in front. All right, so now from here, let's just tap and lift. So each time I'm lifting my arm and my leg, I'm also pressing into my right knee slightly to feel that engagement on that right side of my body. So that's right obliques, right outer glute, right inner thigh working as your left leg and right arm. Before reaching as you lift, nice long necks. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lift up, stay. Now open 1 inch to the outside and then back in. Open out arm and leg slightly, and don't let anything move. Anything else really move in your body. Remember, you're welcome to just do the arm or just do the leg. 3, and then let's go for 2. And in, let's go 1 more. Out, and in, arm down, leg down. Sit all the way back. Give those wrists a nice little twist out, and then come back up. So you're back to that neutral. Let's just roll through a cat. We're going to add a little bit more movement to it, but let's just get our movement first. So drop your tail, scoop up through your abs, ribs lift, head drops. Nice big cat stretch, and then come all the way out of it. So head comes back through neutral, shoulder blades slide down your back that little bit, coming back to a neutral. Take a breath, and then do that again. So drop your tail, scoop those abs around, roll all the way, and then come all the way out of it.
2 more like that. Scoop around, feel how your core is working there to lift. You're not just arching your back, you're moving from your center. And 1 more. Elbow back right up towards your side. All the way back to neutral, and then stay there. So we're gonna alternate, we're gonna go, let's go right leg, left arm, and then left leg, right arm. I'll show you what we'll do. So let's go right leg, left arm. They're gonna reach away. Take a nice big breath. You're gonna tap down, come all the way in, and then you're gonna switch. Left leg, right arm, and then pull all the way back in. Seems simple enough, right? Try to minimize the movement in your body. Come all the way back. Core deepens, reaching, and all the way in. So as you reach, you find that length. As you come back in, find that stability through your core. Reaching, finding length, find that stability through your core as you come back in, and again, reach. Good job, everybody. All the way in, very good, and reach. Remember, press a little bit into the knee that's down as you extend your leg and arm. So for me, I'm pressing my left knee down a little bit as I extend my right leg. That helps to stay steady. Go 1 more each way. Right back in, and then you can sit back to a shelf stretch again. Those wrists another little shake out. Okay, and then just come right onto your tummies. So you can have your legs extended out behind you. Your arms on either side of the mat, they can be as wide as the mat, and then your nose is just gonna cover off the mat a little bit. So for extension, if you haven't done this or if you haven't done this for a while, remember when you're at the top of your extension, you're still looking down. That's kind of what it's gonna look like. It'll be different for everybody depending on your flexibility, but we don't want to be here. That's not what we're looking for. All right. So still looking slightly down. Okay. So nose hovers off the mat. Feel your toes reaching away from the top of your head. Just let your body be heavy towards the mat. Let your ribs be heavy. Let your tummy be heavy. Shoulders are heavy. And then start the movement by connecting through your core. So think about your belly button pulling into your spine that little bit, just a little bit. Feel your ribs tightening up around your center. Think about nice even pressure into each one of your fingers on those hands, and then begin pressing into those hands as you lengthen your spine and reach the top of your head out over the edge of your mat. So thinking length as you lift that upper body slightly. Holding there would be super easy to just drop into your lumbar spine if you're not engaging through your core. So keep that core sort of lifting you away from the mat as you lower right back. Take a breath there, relax everything, let everything just be heavy, and then start again. So think about that core connecting, your ribs tighten up, roll those shoulder blades down your back a little bit this time, leading with your nose and the top of your head, and lengthening that spine, lifting slightly. Take a nice breath there, and then again, slow and controlled, lower back down. Everybody lift your or move your elbows a little bit more from your side bodies and then bring your hands so you're in like a real cactus position. Yeah, exactly. Nice and wide. You can keep your elbows pressing down. So now when you do that, do the same thing. So core connects, ribs tighten up, shoulder blades slide down your back. Lead with the top of your head as you come up. Just think about light touch with your arms so you're not just jamming into them. Hold when you're there. Nice breath, yeah, exactly. Your neck stay nice and long. And then slow
And control, come back down. Very, very good, guys. Now, next time you come up, let's stay. So good. Core connect, ribs tighten up, shoulder blades slide down your back. Let's lengthen as we lift and hold. So right now, think about the top of your head reaching away from your toes. I'm much more concerned with length than I am about how high your upper body is off the mat. See if you can lift your elbows. Lift your hands a little bit. If not, keep them down, that's fine. But if you can you reach your arms forward. Maybe not all the way, doesn't matter. And then bend your elbows, come back in. Lengthen your spine a little more. Now reach those arms forward again, that little bit. Hold them back and lengthen that spine a little more. Don't forget about your core. Keep it connected as you reach. One more, keep it connected, reach. Lower those arms and then slow and control them all the way down. And then press yourself back to a shell stretch.
What is this good for?
What is this good for?
Yeah.
For your thoracic spine, strengthening your upper back. They're like important postural muscles. You know, we're all kind of get towards this kind of a position, our shoulders forward, heads forward. So this brings everything back. There. Does it not feel good? It doesn't feel great, right? It's one of those things, it's like a really like sitting, it's like feels like you're hardly doing anything, but just creating that sense of openness, like your collarbones even being wide, right? We're all just like in everything that we do, driving phones, like we're all here. So opening it out is really important. Most people hate extension, but it's important. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now, grab your squishy ball, come back onto your back. So now think about that, right? We were just opening up through our chest, through our collarbones, our back was really nice and extended. So now here, lying on your back, think about those. I always cueing your collarbones to be wide, your shoulder blades to be flat. So think about how that is the same in reverse here, right? Now we're lying on our back. We can feel our shoulder blades are wide. We can feel our collarbones are open. Try and maintain that as we work. You can use weights here. You definitely don't have to, kind of whatever works for you. Have them handy if you want to try. We're going to lift our heels. So we're just on our T2s. Feel those ribs staying tight around your center again. Think about those collarbones staying wide. And then lift your right leg up. So knee above your head. Stay right there. And then if you feel steady, lift your left leg up as well. All right. So if you need a little more stability assistance, you can open your arms wider to the side for a little bit more of a support. If not, just keep them down by your hips. We'll add them in a second here. So knees above your hip is kind of your ground zero. We're going to come back to that position each time we move our legs. We're going to start just opening our knees to the side. So just opening them out a few inches. Keep those ribs tight around your center. And then bring those legs back together. So your neck is nice and long. Your chin is pulling in gently towards your chest without really tucking it. You're looking just straight up as those legs open out and as you pull in. So go for 3 like this. Inhale, out, exhale. And 2, keep those ribs tight around your center, out, and 1 more like that, opening out, feel that transverse, widening that bit between your hips. Control back in, and then stay. Now from here, if you want to, grab your weights. You can lift your forearms off the mat or plant there 90-degree angles with your arms. You can stay here. If you really want an extra challenge, you can lift your arms right up to the ceiling. Like that. Okay, so now from here, let's open our arms and open our legs. So go out that bit. And then squeeze those legs back together, squeeze those arms back to shoulder distance apart. Do that again. So inhale out. Exhale, squeeze those inner thighs, abs, deepness, pull in. So the key thing here is keeping the back of your rib cage heavy. If you let your ribs go and sort of lift
Off the mat even more. You're gonna start to feel your back. You need to keep those ribs heavy. Same with your shoulder blades. If you're lifting your shoulder blades like I am here, when you move your arms, you don't have as much body on the mat, right? It's gonna be really hard to stay stable. That also just creates tension in your shoulders. You want to keep them nice and open. Go one more like this, open out and in, stay. Now you're gonna kick your right leg in front, reach your right arm overhead, and then pull right back through center. Left arm overhead, left leg in front, and then come right back through center. Very good. Let's go right and right again. Reach and in. We go left and left, reach and back in. One more each way. In, one more left, left, reach, back in, stay. I can reach both legs. You don't need to go straight, just reach them away a bit. You can reach both arms overhead. Again, it doesn't need to be a huge movement, and then come back in. Reaching, just even that little reach is a lot of work. Go for 4 like that. Challenge yourself, maybe try and extend your legs. If that feels okay, reach your arms a little further. Go for 3. We do 2. Good job, you guys. One more, we're gonna reach out and then stay. So if you need to bend your legs or bend your arms a little bit, that's fine. You're gonna open your arms and open your legs out from there. Bring them back in and then come back to center. Let's put them both together. So you're gonna reach out, extend, open, in, and back. Very good. Exhale out, open slightly, squeeze back to your midline, and in. We do 2 more. Keep those ribs nice and heavy, open, squeeze, and back. Shoulder blades stay flat against the mat. Last 2. I think go right into 2 more. And back. Last one, let's reach nice and long, open out, squeeze in, back to center. Lower your right foot down, keep that left foot in, lower your left foot down, and then just lower those arms down by your sides. Good job, everybody. Press through your heels, lift those hips up. Hold it in there, take a nice breath. Knees reach from the top of your head. You can let those ribs lift a little higher than maybe you would for a normal hip roll. Just have that nice stretch and then roll down, pressing your spine back to the mat, 1 vertebra at a time, all the way. Go down in neutral. Do that again. Press through those heels, a little bit through your big toes, lifting nice and high. Roll all the way down, slow roll. And then let's extend our left leg out, hug your right one in tight. So thinking even weight through both sides of your spine as you hug that right leg in, even weight in your shoulders, nice long necks. And then let's grab that right leg with your left hand, bring it all the way over to the left side of your body. Reach your right arm the opposite way, so you can look towards that right arm, just pulling you into a bit of a deeper twist. Put that right knee reaching away from your right fingertips for 2 more big breaths. And then bring that right leg back through center. Send it right out, hug your left in. Really reach your right toes away from the top of your head there. Even weight both sides of your spine, those hips through those shoulders, ribs. And then bring that leg all the way over to the right side of your body. Hold it down with your right hand, reach your left fingertips away from that left. And then let's bring that left leg back through center. Hug that right knee in and then just roll around one way. Other. And then you can roll. Why not? Nice work, guys. You good? Good. Awesome. Hi, Hillary.